All right, Chance Marsteller, just getting done running a little clinic here in Iowa. How'd it go tonight?
Went great. Got in earlier, staying at the Crew's house. We run a big game. They're awesome people. I've got to spend a lot of time with them over the years. And then a bunch of kids from all over the place showed up tonight and got a lot of good work in. Got to work with my two guys before practice tonight, before the clinic, Adam Waters and Nikki Singer. So kind of been here for like 4 or 5 hours now, just having fun.
Yeah. Time flies over here, man. Spent a lot of time here too. And but who's number one? A couple nights away, and two stellar trained guys in the mix this year. 190 pounds, Adam Waters is number one in the country. How does his preparation look coming into this event?
So I'll be honest, you get to a point sometimes as a coach, like these guys are next level. These guys, Adam always preps the right way. Adam's mindset's great. Adam's made a huge jump over the last year. I really don't think there's anybody that can touch him right now in high school or. I think he's ready right now for college to go make the national finals. I think he's that good. So I think Adam's always prepared. He's going to Ohio State, so there's a little bit of that, passing off process right now. And they've been doing a little bit of training out there, which has been good for them. And, just working on parallel lines with those guys. I know he's getting everything he needs the last 2 months out there, but, we got to roll again today for the first time in 2 months, and it was it's always a lot of fun. He's somebody that I look to he always brings more to the table than just being one of my athletes. He's always asking questions, always watching film. He's always the first one to step up and help me, if I'm teaching technique in the room. He's more than just, it wasn't always this way, but he's more than just a wrestler. He's a leader. He's a leader of men, and he's a young professional, So I expect a lot out of him tomorrow night. I truly believe, I'm hoping he's at that point now where it doesn't matter who he's wrestling, he's scoring bonus points against. I have that much confidence in him that's going to happen. When you wrestle a guy like Waters that you haven't put your hands on for a couple months, can you notice changes or differences from those 2 months that he's spent? Absolutely, yeah. I always, but it's always nice, we get together and we start workshopping right away. It's been 2 months, but we catch up on the phone a lot, and with guys like that you've worked with for a while that are really good, it's really small things, and you can tell what they're working on because, well, one, he tells me what he's working on, but two, we go together a lot, and as soon as we get together, it's just a few small things, and if you get them right, dude takes notice of them quick, makes a change, and he's off to the races. So. There's a few really small things. With a guy like him, it's not big stuff. It's not big stuff when you get to this level, and he's the first one to recognize that. You mentioned he's becoming a professional. One of the unfortunate things that a lot of professionals in any sport have to deal with is injuries, and he's had to deal with that the last few months. How has he handled that? I think great. The thing about him is he's not one of the guys. We see some injuries with. I think there's some not just high school wrestling, I think it's in middle school, I think it's in college. There's a fear of competition. Adam's the first to want to compete at everything. Yeah. So for people who don't know, he literally won Pan Ams. He found out a week before he was going that he was going. Flies down to Peru, not ideal. Gets back, they fly to Miami, the flight gets delayed, and the dude gets into Fargo 3 a.m. and goes and competes. It's he's tearing it up. He's taking his way up to that match, and but for him, it's I'm not too worried about it. The dude wants to compete. He likes to compete. And I think the best guys in the country are the ones who want to compete. And I think tomorrow night when you go in there, it's really easy to tell the guys who like to compete a lot. I think that's why he's so easy to coach. The hardest part about coaching is hey, it's time to go. It's time to go perform. We can be in the room all day long, but he wants to perform for the crowd. So the other guy you guys have in the competition, Nick Singer, he really seemed like a revelation at Fargo. Did you see anything what allowed him to perform at that level in Fargo? So I'm gonna be honest. I think Nicky does a lot of things right on and off the mat. Nicky and I had only started working together right after he won a state title, and that's kind of where Adam and I passed off. He kind of brought Nicky into the room, and I think he was kind of more the guy I had my hands on every day from states in March until Fargo in July. So really it was just getting to work with him. Some of these guys are really good and they're raw and they don't know some little hand fighting things and just some little finishing attacks. And I think that's really all it was with him. Like the dude finally really started to learn how to chain a few things together. He's one of the nicest people off the mat, one of the meanest people on the mat. And as soon as Marsteller will shake your hand and tell you how much you're a good guy, and he's a really nice dude. But he's got some intangibles, right? And I think all the number ones always have intangibles, but the ones who are winning with intangibles, who don't even have the technique yet, are the ones who get really special. And I remember the second I started working with him, like after 1 week of just kind of seeing the progression of working with him for 1 week. I remember, for instance, I told David right away. I was like, this is the guy. I'm telling you. Then we go out in April, and he doesn't, he plays. He's at the U.S. Open, doesn't win, but he's like right there with Story. And it was a neck-and-neck match to the end. Just a few little things. He wasn't necessarily freestyle savvy yet, And then just a few months later, he actually took a couple losses in junior duels. But again, his whole process was learning. It was like, hey, I'm getting better right now. I'm not a Pennsylvania. He wasn't treating himself like I'm a Pennsylvania State champ, like I'm just the best. He came in to me with open arms of, I want to get better. I want to figure things out. I want to change. I want to develop. And that's how you make those jumps, I think. He's a very no ego type kid that's willing to put in the time, willing to learn. And we saw it in Fargo. It was really exciting. He's capable of a lot of things. And his transitions are great. And I think we're going to continue to see that Nikki tomorrow night.
I'm really curious about his matchup, just style-wise. Jeter is a guy that's really unconventional, and I think they wrestled a year ago at Fargo, and it was a lot of weird freestyle positions, but also Jeter just kind of does things unconventional. What do you tell a guy going into a matchup with an opponent that does things that most other opponents won't?
Yeah, I think for us, it's always, anytime I'm training a kid as good as them, or with the guys as good as those two, it's always go get to where you want to be, right? The great wrestlers always get to their positions. If you're getting there multiple times and you're in danger, then we start to switch it up slightly, but not much. We want to get to where we want to be, and we want to stay there.
Yeah, makes sense. Last question. You're preparing two guys for who's number one, but then you're also spending 3-4 hours with the young guys, the developmental kids, and helping them get where they want to be. How much of your mindset has to shift on a daily or weekly basis from I'm thinking about my training to I'm thinking about training the best guys in the country to thinking about this next generation and bringing them along? And what are those transitions like in your mind?
It is difficult at times, but I'll tell you what, I posted something the other day, my young guys are going to be my best guys. The young bulls are going to be the best if they buy in early, right? Because, I was sitting with Cole out the other day, and I was like, he's talking about, the same thing I'm saying, good guys got to get great at what they're good at and stuff. And I was like, well, you didn't always teach me that way. You taught me everything, every position. And that's why, I feel like I am who I am today. Because I got you when you were young, and I was able to take you through a training phase of everything, right? And I feel like that's why I get to be with my young guys. They love being there, and I'm actually shifting towards some of my favorite stuff to do is with them. My 12-year-olds right now, they're a lot of fun because they just want to be there, and they're taking losses left and right while getting huge wins at the same time, which tells me we're on the right path. The older guys, it's easy. It's dialed in. You get, like I said before, you get great at what you're good at. You minimize what you're bad at. You fix things here and there. And again, the more they treat themselves like professionals do, it's like a well-oiled machine. They keep going, and they bring up. My goal always in my room is if, I work both ends of it. Sometimes we work from the bottom up. Sometimes we work from the top down, the best guy down. But when we're working from the top down, it's you don't create better wrestlers. You create leaders. You create leaders of young men and young women. And when you do that, it does it for itself. When you take one guy and now he's able to lead, and now that man is able to lead another young man, and that one's able to lead another one or makes another good drill partner. That's how it starts to become a well-oiled machine, right? You teach them more than just wrestling. You teach them how to give back their skills. You teach them how to give back their lifestyle. Our older guys, it's expected in our room. You've been in our room before. We always have to split the room for live. That's why we do 2-hour practices. So that last half hour when we're splitting the room for live. Anytime a small guy doesn't have a go or a partner to go with, Adam Waters, Aaron Seidel, Colin Guy, those type of guys, and now we got the next group of guys that are already doing it, but they're right away. They know they got a hard go going up with another guy in our room that's nationally ranked. but they're on the mat for another 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever it is, with a 85-pound kid who's going to be the next one of those guys, right? So I think that's how you do it, right? Like you don't just train them to be better, you train them to lead.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the time, Chance. Anything else before we let you get out of here?
No, I'm really excited about who's number one. Right now, I'm the opposite as a coach of undefeated at who's number one. We are defeated. So, Adam and Nikki, let's get this thing done.
Awesome, man.